Hi, it's Claire and welcome to Needle Say More. Today I want to share with you a flattering underwear hack. So this is the Iris underwear pattern. I knew I really wanted to make it, but I wanted to make the high-waisted version, and I knew if I made it in the thick jersey with the high waist, it just wouldn't look very flattering. So I decided to cut into the pattern pieces to make it into panels. So to ensure my panels lined up, initially I drew on the front with a curve ruler, got the shape where I wanted it, and then I used this piece placed on the back and made a little mark above and below on the back piece, and then I used a curve rule to draw a second line on the back panel that mirrored the same shape as the front. Once I'd got the lines and I was happy with them and they were in equal positions on the front and back, I then cut out the paper and started to mark on the seam allowance so that when I reattach the patterns using a seam, the panels would be the same size as the original pattern, so it wouldn't affect the sizing. So the pieces here, you can see I'm taping them onto some pattern paper to add on the seam allowance. So I'm adding the seam allowance onto the cut edge from where I drew my line in the previous step. So I'm using a curve ruler, it's called a French curve, and I'm trying to find the best shape on the line so that I can accurately add my seam allowance back onto the pattern. So I'm adding it onto both sides of the cut line all the way down the line of the pattern so that when it's sewn together, it will be the same size as the original piece. It's really important that you take your time at this stage. Don't expect to get all of the same line of seam allowance out of the same section of the ruler. Expect that you're going to have to move your ruler around lots. You might have to use different shapes of rulers. You're trying to draw a line that is either 1 or 1.5 centimetres away from the line that you've cut. So take your time with this. Make sure it's really accurate so it's going to give a really smooth, nice silhouette once the garment is finished. Once you've drawn in the lines and you're happy with them, you're going to cut out the pattern piece again, but this time with the added seam allowance. This is going to be added on only to the cut lines, not all the way around the pattern pieces. And then you're going to cut it out. And then once the seam allowance is folded under, it should be the size of the original pattern. As demonstrated here in the video, you can see these are the two panels of the underwear, and the seam allowance has been added to both sides of the cut edge.